You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get your last word.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rich. Alongside me, as always, my co-host, Runz.
Yes, sir.
Just want to remind you guys that being brought to you in partnership with lastwordonsports.com radio, where you can find us on iTunes under the Last Word on Sports radio channel. You can also find us under the W2M network, which is Wrestling to the Max. You can check out Wrestling to the Max over on Facebook, and you can follow us directly on our own iTunes channel. We're also up on Stitcher, and you can send us emails to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. We didn't get any trivia this week, so send those in for next week. And also, you can follow us on Twitter. We are Running Wild LWO. S. All right, so
this week we are in the fast lane on the road to WrestleMania, but there's a roadblock.
This episode of Raw seemed like they gave it away so that they could have Roadblock.
I don't know about that. It's just, it's hard to build to a show when half of your three main matches are not there, and the one of those people who is there speaks for 4 seconds.
Like, if Undertaker's intro wasn't so long, right? You legitimately could have just, because I watched it on DVR, you could fast forward through what happened.
Yeah, just like not even see it.
Like if you
if
hit
you
that,
looked away for a second and just fast forward.
Yeah, your phone. If your phone was on the other side of the room, and you were fast forwarding on like the 3 or 4 like arrow fast forward,
4 is dangerous territory.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone fast forwards on 4. But anyway.
Yeah, well, when you're old and you fall asleep and you need to fast forward to the end so you can see it before work, sometimes it happens. There have been definitely times when you're like, "Yo, did you see this part?" I'm like, "What?" Because I watched it like at 7:00 in the morning before I left for work, so that it wasn't spoiled for me at work. Hyping the Undertaker in that way, and then having him come out in such a lackluster segment.
Why even hype him? Why even? And I get why say he's there, but don't even say he's there. Just have him show up and come out and do that. Then it would be much more acceptable than the Undertaker's going to be here. The Undertaker's going to be here. The Undertaker's going to be here. The Undertaker's going to be here for 4 seconds. Thanks.
The walk. It's such a lot. And that's the other part. It's it's not fair. You take so long to get to the ring. That build up, you got to do something. It's torturous. It's really. Is it worse than when? Didn't him and Triple H just not talk? Look at the sign.
Yeah, every single time they were next to each other.
Right, it was just made eye contact, look at the sign. And
then that was it. Then they didn't see each other again until WrestleMania.
I'm pretty sure that for one of my WrestleMania invite videos, I used an Undertaker and a Triple H figure, which I don't know where I got from, and had them look at my WrestleMania box set. They looked at each other, and then they looked at the box set, and they looked at each other, and then I went to another scene. It's one of my best cinematic works, I would say. Cinematography was just really great. All right.
If you say so.
Sorry, guys. And I know this is an action-packed episode, and we really need to start moving along at a quicker pace than what I'm doing here. So clearly Dean has no chance at Roadblock, right? I mean, it's literally just a Roadblock. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no way he actually wins because you already have the match with. You already have the match with Brock, and you already have the match with Reigns, so it would be pretty out there if he won. But I mean, who knows? Maybe they can make it a fatal 4-way. It's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely. But Roadblock seems to be like it's going to be a pretty good show.
I want to call it Pothole. I don't know. I'm going to keep coming out with bad names for it.
You have Ambrose and Triple H, which will be good. They announced Enzo and Cass versus the Revival for the tag titles, so that'll be awesome. Just before they announced Brock versus Bray Wyatt, so I mean, okay, thanks. That was supposed to be a WrestleMania match.
Wow.
So I mean, that should be pretty good.
And that's going to be on a Saturday night?
I believe it is March 12th. I don't know whenever. Usually that's a Saturday. Usually they do house shows on Saturdays. Not that I know March 12th in history.
No, you're right, because March 5th is this Saturday, so it's a week from Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. All right. 8 o'clock start?
No idea.
I hope it's a day show. It'd be amazing.
But here's another thing. This show takes place in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
There is a certain Intercontinental Champion who does not have a WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm.
So why not in Toronto when Sami Zayn is going to be there? Do they not just have something happen and there's your WrestleMania match? One, you don't need any time because you have 17 years of backstory. Two, they fought in the Royal Rumble and Zayn eliminated him. So you have that already on the main roster. You're good to go.
Listen, there's nobody who wants to see this match at WrestleMania more than I do. I didn't think of that.
I mean, you don't want to watch Sami Zayn lose, but
This is not any problem with the audio. I was being silent because I was trying to get my thoughts together and express my anger about that because if they fight at WrestleMania, Sami Zayn wins. So
I don't know, but who knows?
No, you know what?
That's irrelevant at this point.
I need that match because what I like about WrestleMania is that every year I get into at least one match where I stop rationally thinking about wrestling. That's for me, ever since I guess the point where you forget, where you realize it's fake, right? The matches where I just get completely sucked into, and that would be the match for me.
Well, I mean, that's clearly a show stealer if they do make that, and I mean it just makes so much sense. But I mean, if you have Triple H Reigns, Brock Ambrose, Taker Shane, a certain tag title match that I believe someone's going to owe me some money on, Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and then Owen Zayn. I mean, that's a hell of a card.
Did I make that bet on air, by the way?
Pretty sure. You bet me that it would be Usos and New Day.
I mean,
0% chance of that one.
I didn't see Y2AJ coming, man.
Neither did I, but I knew that it would not be the Usos.
Well, like I said, I didn't have any idea that those two were going to come together. I thought AJ was going to be kept as a single star. I didn't even think there would be a small time partnership like this.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of more being fast-tracked a little bit, going to be fast-tracked a little bit more than this, and seeing them unite and then not be for just more than a couple of shows, but now what apparently is like this weird old guy tag team. It was just surprising to me.
Why do you hate this tag team so much? I don't understand.
Because I don't want Jericho. I like Jericho, but I can always believe that he'll be gone next week. I don't
Yeah, but he's
And
been there for a while, and it seems like he's going to be there for a minute. So
I'd rather see another team, and I'd rather see new teams in the division than like old dudes. You already have a
AJ Styles is a new dude in the division.
Well, but I mean, like a new tag, AJ can be a singles guy. Jericho doesn't have to be involved, and then another tag team be in the, be making waves.
But you can make that argument about any tag team. Like New Day could be singles wrestlers, and you know what I mean. Like, yes, I get what you're saying, but I don't mind the tag team. I like the tag team. They have good chemistry, and it kind of makes sense. And I'm looking forward to them in the New Day.
Well, they're gonna wrestle on Raw. Hopefully, what happens
New Day's clearly going to get disqualified.
New Day's just gonna win outright, and then WrestleMania will be the match I called for.
Yeah. They're just going to forget about the Dudley Boys.
And they've done it before.
It's going to be the Usos and the Dudleys in some type of tables or whatever match. And then you throw in Kalisto, Dolph, Miz, whoever in the IC ladder match or an IC match. You have the Battle Royal with the Wyatts and Strowman winning and whatever. And that's it. You have a decent Mania. You what did they say? They said something, Lana and Brie.
Yeah.
With like Rusev and Bryan in the corners. And then Bryan throws some kicks, the crowd goes crazy. So that'll be a cool moment if something like that does happen. And they go out celebrating on their last WrestleMania.
Oh, well, speaking of those two, by the way, we watched Total Divas last night. I'll have you know. There was lots of
You couldn't have watched Total Divas because you would have been asleep already.
Oh, no, because it wasn't on last night. Today's Thursday. Yeah, it's on Tuesdays. So we watched it obviously before I fell asleep. I don't remember the last time I saw her cry this much.
As you hear her laughing.
I think the best one was definitely when Nikki said, like in a preview or something, like, I might not be able to wrestle again. And the sobbing stopped for 1 second, and she looked at me and said, "Is that true?" And I just... That was
it. You didn't know how to break it to her. Like, is Santa Claus not real? Like,
yeah, it was... It was amazing to watch. I hope Nikki never retires, because anything that happens to Nikki is amazing. I'm getting a very disapproving... Wait, here's the best part. I'm not getting a disapproving look. Stat Wife is currently crying because she's thinking about Nikki not wrestling.
Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Running Wild podcast. First, we have
live on air.
Live. Amazing, ladies. This is... I hope this might change. This might change the game for us, I think.
Yeah, for all 4 people listening.
I think from now on, I might have to just play Total Divas in the background while I'm taping to see what happens. Oh, man. I'm just upset. I'm actually sad that Nikki's not wrestling right now. My Mania moment might have been like Nikki winning the title and her just losing it. We could do a live Mania podcast if that happens. I think I want to do a special podcast whenever Nikki returns, that first match. A live Nikki returns podcast. It'll be amazing. Maybe we'll even mic her up. All right. Well, moving on. So what do you think about Ambrose? Like, how do you think the match with Triple H ends?
I don't know. It could be a DQ or a run-in or something. I could see Triple H winning clean. Maybe not with just a straight pedigree, but maybe with a sledgehammer and then a pedigree or something like that. So I could see a DQ or Triple H cheating or someone running in, something like that.
Are you excited about Ryback's new push?
I mean, I guess like I'd rather him as a heel than a face. But was he even on Raw? I was writing a paper through Raw, so I wasn't really focusing.
I feel like he may have done.
I don't remember hearing him or seeing him though.
I feel like he was backstage, or I feel like they showed it again, like what he did.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like he might have wrestled.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, I'm a fan of the new direction because he was terrible as a babyface. So at least maybe as a heel, he can win me over a little bit. But it made sense now why he went to the black trunks instead of the colorful stuff. So that was a logical move. Speaking of black trunks, because I just never mind. We'll talk about it during NXT. Yeah. So I mean, what do you think? But like now, so my bad. Before you even give me that, because you can answer my question with it. Where do they go with it? Like, if he wasn't on Raw or nothing was developed, now what? What does he do at WrestleMania?
All right, that's the thing. That's the thing that the reason why maybe I don't really care. Like, I like it better. I think I have a problem with big guys other than Big Show in singlets. I don't think you can name a larger wrestler, so like 300 pounds and up, that's been in the singlet that I would be happy about. Like anyone. Like, I think Big E looks weird, like really weird. Like, I mean, I think they thicken the straps of his.
Big E's isn't as bad anymore. It used to be pretty bad.
It's almost like, also, it's less offensive. It's less offensive because he's in a group that tries to be offensive and dances like he dances like But when before, it was like I was actually offended. Like, why?
Well, he also had like way shorter shorts too at that point.
So I just don't like that. I'm not a big fan. I was
going to say Kevin Owens, but you wouldn't have been happy about that, so I stopped.
He wears a shirt. He wears a shirt.
Not in ROH, he didn't used to. At first,
that's right. Yeah.
When he was Mr. Wrestling. So, I mean, Stephanie cut a good promo on Raw. The Ambrose Triple H stuff was good, but aside from that, it was a pretty meh show. Like, no Shane, which I don't understand. The Undertaker stuff was 2 seconds long. Just stuff I didn't really care about, All
right, let's see. I want to see if we can try to figure out what else happened on Raw. Oh, wait. Without looking it up. But the Divas.
Yeah, well, Becky and Sasha had a match that ended in the double pin, which I knew was coming.
Yeah. I was happy. I don't know.
Yeah. It's perfectly fine. That was fine.
I've never seen it done that way either.
Yeah, that was good. Like, Becky for a second was like she was gonna kick out, and then kind of like, oh wait, I forgot.
I think I feel like
back down.
Sasha also,
it was okay.
It came off a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it was solid. It was a good match. Yeah, but other than that, I think you had New Day wrestle, or maybe Y2AJ beat someone. I don't know. Maybe they beat they beat New Day, right? The Wyatts cut a backstage vignette. So speaking of the Wyatts, what about
it's cryptic,
if
right?
Maybe in a battle royal or something, we have or let's say at Roadblock, Bray loses to Brock, and then Harper, Rowan, and Strowman are like, you know what? Your shit is not working. Forget you. And they turn on Wyatt. You get a babyface Wyatt. You get him a match for Mania. Those three guys can stay together and still be a heels. Harper can talk, and then you kind of get your best of both worlds.
My issue is I don't feel like they will do well without Bray.
But that's why I think them staying together, they would be okay. Singles-wise, I think they're doomed. But, Strowman is big enough. Harper is good enough. So Rowan is kind of the odd man out. But I think Harper can lead them, just take it in a new direction. Maybe be a little bit darker and like more dangerous. Like the Wyatt family was at first, until they kind of just softened them up.
I mean, I'm not even sure at this point, like, what could they be in at Mania other than the Andre Battle Royal?
Well, exactly, but that's why if you split them up, then you can have Harper versus Bray, and you can have Strowman win the Battle Royal. You could do something like that. Because what else are they going to do at Mania? Just die.
See,
they're buried.
I just don't like Strowman, really.
So forget about Strowman. He's irrelevant. I'm pushing you, Luke Harper, leading the group and being the main singles guy, and you're just focusing on, man, I don't like this.
I just don't see them breaking up. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Don't see
maybe that'll
anything.
happen. Well, I do. I just don't. I feel like they're one of those
You don't see Ambrose
groups.
winning. You don't see Y2AJ. You don't see this.
Couldn't you just
What
see...
have you enjoyed over the past month of wrestling?
Huh.
Yeah, not much.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I don't believe that they're really going to do anything with the Wyatts because they haven't done anything with the Wyatts. And I think also the Wyatts are one of those groups that, like, why ever split them apart?
Because they're dead. They killed them. It's over. So if you split them up, then people are going to cheer for Bray because they're already cheering for Bray. And then you can get the other three back to being heels and doing dastardly things. And it would give people a reason to care about all of them again. Oh, they just split up. Oh, now I can root for one of them. Oh, okay. Bray can be the babyface that he almost was a bunch of times.
You're just very I feel... Here's what I can see.
I'm trying to make
I know. Oh, no,
I'm trying to make something happen with these guys.
All right, look. Unfortunately, this is what I see happening at Roadblock. All right? Triple H straight pulverizes Dean Ambrose. All right? Like, Dean Ambrose won't give up and, like, eventually, like, knocks out Austin style or something. Close to it. All right? And then I think that Bray is going to fight.
You think Roadblock and WrestleMania are going to have the same finish for Dean Ambrose? Because that's the exact same thing you said Brock was going to do.
Well, I didn't. Well, that was before I knew about Roadblock.
Okay.
See, now maybe this is what changes for me now. So you have Ambrose get crushed, then you have Brock take out Bray, and in the process sends all of the Wyatt family to Suplex City. And then he looks like more of a monster, and you have Dean beat him at Mania.
But what good do you get out of Triple H killing Ambrose? Like, Ambrose is...
Because on that card, because at the end of the night, what you'll have is you'll see that Dean takes a beating, all right, and, like, still, like, he still fights back, and he's not going to back down.
So then you're telling me that Triple H is more of a monster than Brock?
Well, also in the process,
you beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania when Triple H couldn't.
In the process, you make Triple H look more heelish and dastardly and imposing going in against Roman, and then you have the added Roman's avenging his friend a little bit.
Well, he's going to avenge his friend either way, but I don't think you need to make Triple H look any more villainous, like he's one of the biggest villains ever. He's just been a straight heel.
As he made someone bleed profusely from their nose because he smashed their face into a table.
That's not Triple H's fault. That's Roman. That's because he was facing Roman Reigns, who people boo. They're going to cheer him no matter what he does to Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania, because it's Triple H against Roman Reigns. So they're always going to boo Roman Reigns and cheer Triple H. That's just because of people cheering for what they want.
All right. I don't know. You know what?
I don't see what sense it makes to kill Ambrose. Like, maybe Triple H beats him up and he keeps coming back. Yes, but there's no way that it's a basic squash match. If it was Triple H against Kofi Kingston,
I don't mean
that's different.
All right, I don't mean a squash match. I mean,
when you say
at the end of the match. Well, I mean, because I feel like they can do an ending where it's not a squash, but at the end, Triple H goes like over the line to take Dean Ambrose out and send a message.
Yeah, well, that's very different than him pulverizing him and destroying him the whole match. Because that's exactly what I said. He gets DQ'd or whatever happens towards the end. He cheats to win. You can still get the same effect that what you were saying. Triple H gets some heat because the crowd will actually cheer Ambrose. But I don't know. Ambrose is going to have a competitive match. He'll have a good match. He'll take his lumps and whatever. Then they'll move on.
I think Triple H is going to destroy him at the end.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just take him out so that he looks, because I feel like if you end Roadblock with Triple H looking strong, Brock Lesnar looking strong, and Dean looking weak,
then you're gonna beat Brock with a weak guy. That you can't.
Not like looking. I just mean because it's a no DQ match. Weak. But it's a no DQ match. It's different from the match that he's gonna have with Brock at Mania. It's not no DQ. So I think the point is, if he can survive to fight another battle after losing a no DQ match to an evil Triple H, then
he's gonna beat the biggest monster in the company
because he's got that much heart.
No, your logic is flawed. He can't not beat, like he can't stay down for Triple H is beating and not Brock's.
But Triple H doesn't have a sledgehammer. You know he's going to have a sledgehammer. Like that's an unfair. Many a great man have fallen to a Triple H sledgehammer.
Yes, correct. But what I'm saying is, you cannot make Ambrose look weak and then beat Brock at WrestleMania. He cannot look weak regardless. A sledgehammer shot doesn't make him look weak. That makes him look stronger.
All right, I'm tired, and I think my word. You're harping on my word.
Your choice of words. Well. Yeah, but because I'm going on what you're saying, I don't
weak,
know what your plan is.
I meant weak as in like literally weakened from a beating. All right, not weak in terms of like his push on the card. I feel like he'll look. It's like the snow. He'll look more resilient because of being weakened and being bludgeoned, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's been his MO. Recently.
We're in agreement. I accidentally said weak. I didn't say pulverized at the end of the match.
Yeah, it was your placement of the words, because that's what it threw off everything. Because I thought you were calling for one direction instead of the total opposite of.
I'm always calling for one direction.
Kind of has to happen, But Ambrose looks strong from this pay-per-view, from this network special main event, regardless. And he'll go into Mania. I have said since day one, I think he's beating Brock. It just makes sense to me. You make a huge star, he gets that rub. But I really think Roadblock is going to be. See, it could just be a regular boring house show, but I really feel like it should be, or it could be, one of the main shows building to WrestleMania, because you can have a lot of these guys interact on that one show. Let's say something happens with Reigns and Triple H there. Let's say something happens with Brock and Ambrose, or Bray and whoever, Owens and Zayn, the NXT tag teams. You have all of that going on that is going to affect WrestleMania weekend somewhat.
I just wonder about it, like in terms of just monetarily for them. You're assuming that they think that this will get more buys for the network, right?
No, I don't think. I
because
just think,
if not, wouldn't you want to raise Raw ratings and get more revenue from from what advertisers pay you with higher numbers than you would to put the show?
But you already have that money. This is this. I get what you're saying to get more subscribers, but this isn't like a Hail Mary, let's throw this on and hope people subscribe to buy it kind of thing. This is just like a look at what you get with the WWE Network kind of thing. Look at all the extra stuff you can watch. And I love when they do this, because they only do it for a big show, a big house show. So it gives people a reason to care about house shows, and it gives people a reason, or it lets them have an excuse for Triple H to have this warm-up match before WrestleMania and, all that sort of thing, which is necessary and always happens. But if you give it away on Raw, then what's the point? Raw is on free TV and people already watch it. You already get your ad money. You already get your network money. It doesn't matter. So at least now if you have it on here, maybe some people will subscribe just to see it. Maybe, but by throwing the NXT stuff in there, by throwing Sami Zayn in there, that creates interest, especially on the network or people who watch the network. But speaking of NXT, so Gallows and Machine Gun are done with New Japan and ROH, and they're on their way. They're signed, whatever. So they released that Bulletproof Balor Club shirt, which I was like, Bulletproof Balor Club, that's a lot more likely than just plain Balor Club or the Bullet Club, because neither, but now I've heard that they are going to debut on the main roster sometime around WrestleMania, before, after, who knows, and they will be called the Balor Club. So there we go. That leads the door open for anything, because they could interfere in Taker, they could just show up, but I couldn't be more excited. Like that WrestleMania weekend, man, is going to be like, that NXT card is bananas. Like Nakamura, Zayn, and Joe, Balor, whatever else they have on there. And then you have WrestleMania with maybe Zayn and Owens, and maybe the Bullet Club debuting. Like, that WrestleMania weekend could be so, so good.
Yeah, I'm actually getting very excited. Feels like it's too far away. I'm glad.
It's a month, bro. What's today? March 3rd. It's April 3rd, right? I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, it is a month. Oh, wait. I realized that this morning. A month away.
I got to get back to watching my WrestleManias.
I think I'm on 13 or 14 right now.
I'm up to 25, but it was also
Lucha Underground getting released on iTunes has really just derailed everything this week, because I just sit and watch the first season of Lucha Underground and not anything new. I got home from class early yesterday, thankfully, so I was able to watch NXT and this week's Lucha Underground, and today I came home and I watched some of TNA, but not a lot of it. So I was just like, I can talk about the first season of Lucha Underground. But aside from that, but this week's Lucha Underground was good. NXT was, just kind of nothing.
Well, it was nice to see Austin Aries come out.
There was two. Yeah, you had Austin Aries' debut, which was awesome, and Corbin just killed him, which I thought was good. Eye for an eye, that was a cool little segment. And then you had Balor and Neville. So I get, the main point of that show, but it was pointless.
The eye for an eye thing? I don't.
Because
something?
William Regal didn't put Baron Corbin in the rematch.
But Baron Corbin lost to two people.
Correct.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just like
out, yes, but he still felt like he should have been in that in the rematch.
Sorry about that. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties, and I'll honestly say that we kept trying to kind of re-record this where exactly we left off, but we're not good enough actors to pull off a third surprised reaction. So we're going to move on.
Yeah. So whatever. A decent NXT angle. I like the Baron Corbin. Like I said, I like the Baron Corbin part coming out, and because it makes so much sense. Like if you're on that roster and you keep seeing these new guys come in and come in and come in, and you're getting leapfrogged, and it's such a logical move for a big heel to just be like, yo, nope. Oh, okay, you want to screw me over? Now I'm going to screw over one of your big time acquisitions. Yeah. So I really like that. And we've both discussed how we didn't like Corbin, and then as soon as he turned heel, it's kind of like, oh, okay, yep,
yeah,
he kind of gets it now. He's a perfect heel. So just another good notch in the hat for him.
It was like that show. Was it? I can't even remember now. The NXT show, the behind the scenes.
Uh-huh.
on the network, Breaking Ground.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like once, it was like I feel like somebody watching was like, yo, you're actually like a dick. You should just do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you should just be somebody that I have to root against.
Like he built his character up by being himself on Breaking Ground.
Isn't that kind of funny? Like, we want somebody, like, we don't like somebody as a good guy because we think they're an asshole. And then as soon as they act like the asshole that we think they are, we're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I like this guy. I'm a fan now. But why don't I still think he's a dick like I did? You know what I mean? Like,
all right, so moving on to well, I didn't watch TNA this week. I read I read what happened, but it was, I'm trying to think.
It's all right. Don't even bother. Yeah. I'll just watch it.
So I did get to watch Ring of Honor. It wasn't, I want to think, super duper exciting. Let me just jog my memory. You had the boys take on Silas.
No, it was terrible. That's why I didn't even consider watching it, because I read the card and I said, are you kidding me? I don't want to watch the boys against the Beer City Bruiser and Silas.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the Top Prospect tournament. And then it was Adam Cole against somebody like Whack too, right?
Matt Sydal.
Yeah.
Matt Sydal won.
Yeah, but oh my god.
What did you think of the pay-per-view?
Okay, so it was a great wrestling show, but like I hate when nothing happens. No titles change hand, no rival. I mean, like we knew the Motor City Machine Guns thing was happening. It was just kind of a not surprising show, and for a company that has a pay-per-view once every 4 months, I feel like when I buy that pay-per-view, it better have something going on. And they usually don't.
Yeah, I was duped, perhaps, into thinking that something major was going to happen.
Always, because it's a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, from what I read, Tanahashi was actually supposed to be in the spot against Dalton Castle, so then they had Goto come in, and Goto, and he... I mean, it doesn't seem like Castle's going to win anyway, but I just feel like he's been one of your up-and-coming guys, and then he loses to a New Japan guy who's not going to be around. And I just felt like this was more to display the partnership with New Japan than it was to promote the fact that it was the 14th anniversary of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. You have the 14th anniversary, like you said, the 14th year of your show, or the 14th year of the incarnation of whatever, and you have every New Japan guy on the roster win. Okay, yes, I get it. You're in a partnership, and you made matchups that it was impossible for the ROH guys to win. Like Moose was not going to beat Okada. Like at one point in the opening match, they were like, "Oh, Goto has said that it's not about like whatever. He can't lose this match. He can't be embarrassed by losing to Dalton Castle." Yeah. And I was like, "Well, then how the hell is he going to lose? You just told me he's not going to lose." So like, you can't disgrace the guys from New Japan. I get that, but there has to be some give and take. Like, you can't have all of them win on the show that is your main show. And then when Ishii won and War Machine won, I was like, oh, okay. So both of them retain. So we're going to get a title change in the main event. Cool, no problem. And then Lethal wins. And I was just like, oh, okay. Well,
and not that it was a bad... Like, I liked the match.
No, of course not.
I wanted to see something. I wanted to feel like I was watching.
When you have a match that like is for the title, and you don't really have a big story going into it, it's kind of just two of these guys don't like each other and they both want the title, which another guy has. So like I feel like that's when something usually does happen, because there's a point to someone else having the title rather than the guy who has it. And that's not at all what happened. Why is Ishii the ROH TV champion? So he can never wrestle on ROH TV? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that.
Understand.
So they did like a taping or something. Also the next night, there was another show the next night.
Yeah.
So basically, Ishii ends up defending again.
Yeah,
And
on the
then
first match of the night.
he's supposed to come back like the week before WrestleMania week. So I
And then
guess
they'll film more.
they must be spacing it out. So maybe like the TV title defense won't be. It will be like next. If there's 4 weeks to WrestleMania, you
Yeah.
could theoretically do one defense on TV, I guess, right? And then
Yeah.
get you to the WrestleMania show, the weekend show.
This is what bothers me about ROH and NXT is like I get it that you're filming so much in one night and that is what kills you. But like I want to see Finn Balor on consecutive weeks. I want to see Jay Lethal on consecutive weeks. I want to see your main guys every single week. Otherwise I start to not care as much. And that's the same thing that they do in NXT. Kaz and Enzo wrestle one week, and then they don't wrestle for another month. And I understand why. I get it. It keeps certain people fresh. But I want to see them weekly. That's why I watch the show, to see the guys that I like, not to see the top prospects and that kind of stuff. Just do that on the house show. Put it on your ROHWrestling.com. I don't have one match a week. Don't have all four.
I don't know why
It's just...
They should do
know,
a little bit more with that. I think they need to be using their website a little bit more. I don't know why. I guess because Sinclair Broadcasting, so they want to do it on their show, and they don't want maybe exclusive content to be on the website.
Yeah.
But I would sign up for exclusive content on the website.
Yeah, maybe then you'd pay $60 for the year or something, But Sinclair did just buy the Tennis Channel, so I'm interested to see if they put ROH on there or if they do anything with ROH through that.
And there is one exciting bit of news coming out from ROH. The reformation of the Motor City Machine Guns. No?
Yeah. I said that, but
Well,
I said we saw that coming, that was obvious.
Yeah, but I'm happy. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes the obvious thing is the right choice.
I haven't seen them in ROH, if I can remember correctly. They disappeared for a while. I don't know where they were. Maybe somewhere else. Maybe they went away somewhere. And then, so I don't think I've seen a lot of them in ROH, and I'm kind of excited to see them. I feel like I was disinterested in both guys separately, so...
Yes, because they're better tag team wrestlers, and I watch them in TNA and in ROH and all that stuff, so I'm excited to see that, and I'm definitely excited to see them in ROH and definitely New Japan working with some of those teams, and Saidown ACH or Saidown Ricochet and the Young Bucks, all those kind of guys, Beretta and Romero. So they were this style of tag team wrestling before this style, was so popular around the world.
Yeah.
So, they're going to have some good... I think it was just... ROH announced something. Well, it was Red Dragon against the Young Bucks against... Oh, no, Kaz and Daniels against the Young Bucks against Sabin and Shilly.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be...
For, ironically, their March 12th return to Philadelphia, so good luck.
I think it's going to be, like honestly fantastic.
Yeah, but what's the point? Like, all of those triple threat tag team matches are phenomenal, but it's just wrestling to wrestle.
I guess you're right.
4 out of the 6 guys have a beef, but why the hell throw the Young Bucks? I mean, I know why you put the Young Bucks in.
Oh, yeah.
They don't need to be in that match,
Oh.
Just have them wrestle someone else separately. Like, why do you need to do that? It's just like I see the same triple threat tag team match with the Young Bucks weekly. Like, I watch New Japan, I watch ROH. It's on one of those shows every week. So, like, why do I need to keep seeing that? You're gonna destroy it.
I hope things turn. I mean, I've just been... The pay-per-view overall just really let me down, and I hope that moving forward there's some a little bit of change more than a guy from another company taking your title.
Not even that. You could have at least if Ishii would have won on the show, I would have been okay. Not like he won on the New Japan.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
You want me to watch your free show that you don't even advertise or broadcast in Japan at 4:00 in the morning to see a title change, but your $40 pay-per-view. Come on.
It's mind-boggling. We got some last-minute trivia in.
Really?
Yeah, we got 3 questions from Adam and 1 question from Tom.
How's that even possible?
I don't really know. Maybe people actually know when we tape.
Maybe.
Which is odd.
Okay.
All right.
Adam and Tom, huh? All right.
Tom is... Thank you, Tom. Question here is, what was Triple H's first loss?
That's not a question.
Come on.
Goldust? Oh, no. He was undefeated, right? Maybe Ultimate Warrior?
Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 12? I guess, yeah? We're going as Triple H. We're assuming it's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So it's...
Yeah, but he was undefeated, right?
Yeah, I mean, he really had a nice streak going. I mean, I'm assuming he's not talking about Terra Rising.
No, I'm sure not. Do you know Tom?
No, I don't know a Tom.
Oh, okay. You do know Tom, but okay.
I do know Adam.
Just making sure. Yeah, I knew that. That's why I was making sure that we didn't know both of them.
All right, so these are 3 from Adam.
Well, I mean, we're going with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I'll look at the Triple H's wiki. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Sorry, I'm typing over my laptop because annoying. All right, so John Paul Levesque, the Connecticut Blue Blood era. So let's see. He appeared in tape vignettes. He began a feud with Henry R. Godwin. Let's see. He had a storyline. He took Sable. Well, Wikipedia is not so. It is not mentioning. It just says that he did have a loss to the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 12. It did not. Oh, it's actually following a loss during the free-for-all. Okay, so it says that although he was highly promoted in his first few months, Levesque's career stalled, starting off with a feud with Duke Josie following a loss at the free-for-all, which was before the '96 pay-per-view.
See, I was gonna try and figure out the years because when was it? It was like, when was it that he got blackballed for the Madison Square Garden?
Yeah. And it says here that it was Josie. He lost to Duke the Dumpster Josie?
Okay. See, like it was either one of those, like just completely nobody because they were burying him.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a ridiculous question.
Weird. The Garden event happened. I'm looking at it. It was definitely '96, and he was supposed to win. He was supposed to win. It was May 19th. It was May 19th, so that means that they had him lose to Duke Josie just because they thought it was good booking. All right. Moving on. John Cena's OVW name. That was the blueprint. No, wait. The prototype?
Prototype, yeah.
Prototype. That was nice. All 5 members of the Spirit Squad.
Kenny, Mikey, Nikki. Is there a Mickey?
Yes.
Kenny, Mikey, Nikki, Mickey. Mitch?
Oh my God! Yes. It's funny because I was like, okay, honestly, at this point, since you had 4 of them, I was like, I'm gonna go look for the answer to see because I didn't want it to sit here forever
Yeah.
because we could have just gone on. So like, wow, I think that the Mitch one is like so clutch, like that.
I knew it was something else that wasn't like icky, you know.
Nice. I mean, I'm really proud of us right here.
Of us,
Yes.
of me. Thank you very much.
All right, and the last one is who was the winner of the 1991 Royal Rumble? We just talked about
Come on
this.
now, Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah. Because that was the first one that earned the right to wrestle the champion, and it was Slaughter. All right.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That was the first one?
Oh wait,
Well, I know
no,
that
you're
that
wrong.
was the
No,
first.
you know
No,
what?
he was the champion in that one.
Oh, no, Slaughter was the champion.
Oh,
Slaughter had beaten Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, Royal Rumble because Macho Man
oh yeah.
smashed his scepter. But maybe that wasn't the first one where they won it because it obviously didn't happen in 8 because of the title there. But I think you earned the shot. I think he won the 1991 Royal Rumble to earn the shot.
Who did he eliminate to win that match? I think I actually asked you this question too.
To Earthquake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I love wrestling. All right. So I guess on that note, hopefully we have no more. Luckily, we made it 10 minutes without the our connection going badly. This is fantastic.
It's terrible.
I just want to point out, by the way, also that it's still working on the other computer. So
Yeah, of course.
creepily, as we're taping this, there are 2 versions of me in the chat. So this is very odd.
It was better when they were both muted.
Oh, what a dig, co-host. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, with all of that, just want to remind you guys you have been listening to us through our partnership with LastWordOnSports.com. You can find us on iTunes under the Last Word on Sports radio channel. You can also find us under the W2, the number 2, M channel, which is Wrestling to the Max, which you can follow over on Facebook. And you can also find us on our own channel under Running Wild Podcast. You can find us on Stitcher under the same name. And you can send us emails directly. Thank you tonight, Tom and Adam, for your emails to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can follow us over on Twitter. Just 1 follower extra this week would be fantastic. Running Wild LWOS. And with all that out of the way, I didn't talk. All right, we'll leave it for next. I feel like we're at the end here. With all that out of the way,
For what?
the show I went to.
Yes, we will have to definitely save that for next week, as it is definitely a longer conversation.
Yeah, Independent Date Night, which was fantastic. FSW, Fighting Spirit Pro Wrestling. You guys got to check it out. Got good last week. All right, so with all that, though, I just want to remind you guys that you've been listening to the podcast that is just too sweet.